guys, it's Kira and welcome to another weekly vlog. It's currently about lunchtime on Saturday afternoon and honestly the morning has disappeared before my eyes. I went to the gym this morning, then we went to the supermarket, had some breakfast, I got ready, and then all of a sudden it was basically the afternoon, and I don't know how that happened, but here we are. And so I'm pretty excited about my afternoon plans and wanted to check in with you before I go out because I'm about to head out to meet my dad, my grandma and my brother for some lunch. We're going to Pizza Express and I am so excited to get some pizza because honestly, pizza just makes everything better. I feel like if you're already having a good day, pizza just elevates it to the next level, and if you're not having a good day, then pizza just makes it that little bit better. And I am having a good day so far, so I am so ready for pizza to just take me to that next dimension of happiness, and I cannot wait. But then after pizza, I have a little bit more of a chilled out afternoon planned, mostly surrounding these books. I did talk to you about both of these books in last week's vlog, which I'll link for you to go and check out if you haven't seen it already. But first of all, we have The Truants by Kate Weinberg. This is a book which I am 200 pages into. It has 330-ish pages altogether, so I'm relatively close to the end at this point and I love it. It's like a dark academia slash murder mystery, definitely just overall mystery style book. The main character is at university and she is studying various authors such as Agatha Christie, and the book very much draws on the tropes of mysteries, and it's got a very conscious narrative style where the narrator is telling you the story in retrospect, and so it just feels like a very calculated book with a mystery that you're sort of trying to keep up with the sort of protagonist to find out what's exactly going on. There's a lot of layers to this story. There's a lot of complicated and very fast moving relationships which sort of reach high peaks really quickly and then crash down just as quickly, and so it's really intense and really exciting and I love it. So I'm hoping to read some of this later, and then I'm also going to be making a start on Rebecca. As I mentioned last week, I'm hosting a read-along of Rebecca this month because the new Netflix TV adaptation is coming out in a couple of weeks actually, and I'm really excited about it, and I haven't managed to make a start just yet, but I'm going to be starting this week I think, because I've now got about 14-ish days, maybe a bit less, until the new movie comes out, so I want to make sure that I have plenty of time to finish this book. So I think I'm going to make a start this evening. Don't know if I'll read a great deal of it, but I'm definitely going to make a start. I'm not super worried though because I have read this book before, so this is just a reread, and so I'm not putting too much pressure on myself to finish it really quickly, but I do definitely want to delve back into it and make a start today. So that is my evening. I'm about to just drink all of this tea and head out for a delicious pizza. Do you know what, guys? I'm actually really proud of myself because, as you might know if you've been watching my vlogs for the last few weeks, I have been in a huge reading slump and I've just been really struggling to read basically anything at all. I just haven't had the time or the motivation, which is not brilliant considering that this channel is very much centered around books, and I've just been really struggling. It has kind of been giving me a little bit of stress and anxiety because I want to make sure that I'm reading enough and chatting to you about books, and I've just really been struggling, partially because I've been so busy, but also partially, like I said, I just haven't been feeling motivated. So even when I could have been finding time for reading, I just haven't been wanting to reach for books, and it's been a whole mess basically. And so even when I've been reading books that I've really loved, I just haven't really been wanting to pick them up. But yesterday I made a start on a book in the afternoon. I picked up Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier because, as I've mentioned already in this vlog, I'm hosting a read along of this book along with Jess from the channel Read by Jess in preparation for the new Netflix movie which is coming out in a couple of weeks. And honestly, because of how slow I've been reading lately, I was actually getting to the point where I didn't think I was going to finish the book in time for the live show that Jess and I are going to be doing on, I believe, the 23rd of October on my channel. So I was getting a little bit panicked because I obviously wanted to finish it in that time. And so I started this book yesterday, and as a massive surprise to myself, I actually made it to page 106. Not groundbreaking or anything like that, you know, I didn't finish War and Peace in a day, but given how slowly I've been reading lately and the fact that I've been crawling through books like a chapter a day, just really slowly, the fact that I actually made it through 106 pages out of almost 450, so you know, almost a quarter of the way through, it just felt like a massive relief, and I felt like I broke through the wall and maybe I'm like out of the other side of my reading slump. I do obviously need to be very much aware that, you know, I might not read as much as I was able to read over lockdown when I wasn't at work, I wasn't teaching yoga, and I didn't really have much to do, but I can still try and prioritise it and just read when I can, and I'm pretty happy with that. I do have to say that part of my success with reading Rebecca yesterday was actually down to the fact that I was actually on a live show. Hannah, who is hosting a read-along called Gothtober, which is wonderful, actually is hosting a few live shows over on her channel, and she had Jess and I on last night to talk about Rebecca. We did a little bit of a chat about Rebecca, about gothic books, about period dramas, all sorts of things really. We really delved into loads of different conversations, and then we also did 3 reading sprints where we all read bits of Rebecca, and that massively helped me because honestly it just gave me the motivation I needed and no distractions so that I could just actually get through some of the book. And that's actually why I love to film the like read with me videos, because they really do just make me read rather than doing anything else, and so that was super helpful. I will link Hannah, her channel, and the live show from last night in the description box down below so you can check it out and also see what else she has going on for Gothtober. But it was really fun to have that little opportunity to like discuss this book together. So as of right now, I'm actually just about to head out for coffee with my mum, my stepdad, and my little sister, and I cannot wait to get my hands on a chai latte, but I will catch up with you when I'm there.
Are turning brown, red and yellow, soon they'll be falling.
Okay, so I'm back from coffee and I just arrived home to find this Amazon package waiting for me. Now, I have no idea what it is. As far as I can recollect, I haven't bought anything on Amazon. Now, perhaps I went on a sleep-deprived Amazon buying frenzy, but I don't think that's the case, so I'm very excited to open it, and I thought that I might as well do a little unboxing to see what we have here. Genuinely do not know what it could be. Look at the... Oh, wow, that arrived so quickly. My god, so it is Flowers in the Attic by Virginia Andrews. This is a book that I added to my wish list yesterday after I was on Hannah's live show, because she was talking about this book and basically saying how it was really, really weird and dark and creepy, and I was like, I want to read that book, so I added it onto my wish list, and Hannah has actually sent it to me because she wanted to say thank you for being a guest on the live show, which is so kind, and honestly not necessary, but very, very grateful for it because it was so fun to go on the live show. I got a great book recommendation and now I actually can read the book. So not really sure what this book is about. Like, from what Hannah said, it was basically about a group of siblings whose mum puts them in the attic, and they basically have to live in the attic for years and years and years, and it's like a really dark and weird and creepy story, which sounds so interesting, and I feel like it'll be perfect for this time of year. So I'm actually hoping to get to it maybe in the next couple of weeks because it just sounds super dark, which is what I love. So thank you so much, Hannah, because honestly would not have even known about this book if it wasn't for you, and now you've gifted it to me, so I'm very, very excited to read it. Actually just home for like a little bit now because Jay and I are actually going out for a meal tomorrow, which is Monday, is our 7-year anniversary, but Monday isn't really a great day for going out for a meal. It's also a day when I'm teaching yoga in the evening, so we thought that we'd go out for a meal today instead, and we're going for pizza again. So it's been a very pizza filled weekend, which is always a thumbs up in my opinion.
Down. Now, I'm not ready, not just yet. I'm not ready for autumn. Autumn comes too soon. Autumn comes too soon. The light that flickers will blow away the sight, and all that blossomed will wither away and die. Not now, I'm not ready, not just yet. I'm not ready for autumn. Autumn comes too soon. I'm not ready for autumn.
Good morning guys, happy Monday. Hope you're having a good week so far. Actually, I guess by the time you actually watch this vlog it will have already been the end of the week because this vlog is going up on Friday, so I hope you had a fabulous week. I'm getting off to a pretty good start this week because I started out my Monday with a gym session this morning, got to the gym for like 7 AM, which was really nice. I don't know about you guys, but I'm definitely a morning person. The prospect of getting up at 5 AM seems a lot more attractive than staying up until like midnight. I just am no good in the evenings. I can get up so easily in the morning, get loads of stuff done, but basically after 9 PM I'm useless because that is just the end of my productivity. I just cannot even do anything at that time because I literally just need to go to sleep. So I've definitely been enjoying getting up early and going to the gym just because I know then that I've done it, started my day productively, started my day with some activity, and it's just really nice to then know that I don't have to think about fitting it in later on when I'm far less likely to have the motivation all the time. So let me know whether you are like a morning person, because most people that I know are morning people, but I know that the like night owls do exist out there somewhere. I 100% cannot relate, but I'd love to know if there are any of you out there because it's just really interesting. I think it definitely comes down to like what you're used to, because both of my parents are really like early birds and definitely get up early, get stuff done, and then go to bed early as well. So I feel like it's definitely sort of just been like habitually passed down to me just because that's what I'm used to. I'm definitely trying to be very positive today because looming in the back of my mind is the fact that later on today Boris Johnson is making another announcement about lockdowns and restrictions and things like that. And I'm slightly concerned because a similar notification happened in Scotland last week, and that basically put a limit in some areas on like banning group exercise classes, which would obviously include yoga. And I'm just a bit worried that that might happen here as well. Even though, you know, there's nothing I can do about it, so there's not much point in worrying it. It is kind of looming in the back of my mind because I would just be really, really upset if yoga classes were cancelled, especially because all of the places that I teach in have like all of the spaces specifically marked out so that it is socially distanced. And so I'm hoping it doesn't happen, but I guess I'll just have to wait until this evening, and I'm trying not to spend too much time focusing my energy on it, because regardless of what I want to happen, that won't actually change the outcome. But I've been kind of thinking about that this morning. And then in a bid to cheer myself up, I'm just on my little mid-morning coffee break, and I've made myself the most delightful beverage, which I'm about to tell you about. It's a cappuccino, but with a twist. First of all, I was just super impressed with how frothy the milk went. As you know, I'm usually an oat milk person, but this week for some reason I ended up getting almond milk instead because it was on offer, and the oat milk was like nearly £2, whereas the almond milk was only £1. So I got almond milk. I used to drink almond milk, but I've never been able to get it to go super frothy. But this one is literally like, you can see there where I've taken a drink out of it and how like thick the foam is. And it's delicious. But the real reason why this is such a delicious drink is because I made it using these My Protein white chocolate flavor drops. They're basically just like a sweetener that has a delicious flavoring in. They've got loads of different ones like chocolate, white chocolate, strawberry, caramel, butterscotch, toffee, all kinds of crazy things. But I got the white chocolate ones because I love white chocolate, and this, it's just incredible, like next level. Honestly, like highly recommend. Pretty sure this was only like a couple of pounds on My Protein, and I'm so glad that I got it because you really don't need to use much, so it's definitely going to last a long time. And I'm definitely going to try out the other flavours, but I basically just added the flavour drops into the milk before I frothed it, so now the whole thing just tastes like white chocolate, and it's amazing. So I'm going to get back to drinking my cappuccino, do some work, and then at lunchtime I'm planning to do a little bit of reading.
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. Oh, the good times just begun. We know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright. Oh, you and I, we got it. Oh, we don't need no more. Oh, even in the hard times, you and I can weather any storm. Before I sleep, hear the crickets, see the moon. Side by side and through. No limit to what we can do. Oh, we know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright. Oh, you and I, we got it. Oh, we don't need no more. Oh, even in the hard times, you and I can weather any storm.
It is now Wednesday, and Jay has just made my day infinitely better by bringing me a chai latte from Cafe Nero. Literally the best thing ever in general, but especially on a Wednesday when I kind of felt like I needed a bit of a pick-me-up. So this has made my day really good. And then in other good news, I've also actually managed to make quite a bit of progress on reading the truants. I feel like I am slowly but surely dismantling the wall that I had met in my reading progress. I felt like I was just really struggling, and I'm now finally getting over it. I am on page 285, and this book has about 230 pages, so I'm now less than 50 pages away from the end of this book, and so it is my ultimate goal to finish it this evening after work. I will be teaching a yoga class later, but I do have like a bit of time because it doesn't start until 7:15, so I should be able to fit in some reading before yoga and maybe a little bit afterwards as well. But essentially my main goal for today is to finish reading this book because I am hooked. As I've mentioned, this is a book which is very, very multi-layered, and we're starting to edge further into the like mystery element of the plot. From the blurb I wasn't sure whether it was going to be a murder mystery or just like a general mystery, and at this point in the book I would probably be inclined to say that it leans itself more towards a general mystery, because whilst death does play a role in the mysteries, I'm not sure that necessarily a whodunit style, who's the culprit style of the book is really what we're doing, and it's more just like the picking out the multiple layers of mystery that surround all of these characters and their relationships with each other, and then understanding how each of those connections and relationships impacted their choices and actions and their ultimate fates. And so there's a lot of different layers to unpick, and I'm loving it, and it's absolutely incredible. I was just very, very surprised by the bit that I read this morning before starting work because it took a twist that I really wasn't expecting. So absolutely loving it, and I'm hoping to be able to give you another update later on with my concluding thoughts. It is Thursday afternoon. I have a cup of tea in a Christmas mug because why the hell not? And I'm very, very pleased to report that I finally finished a book. It feels like a momentous achievement because it has been such a long time since I finished a book. And the last book I finished, which was The Secret She Keeps, I read and completed on like the 27th or 28th of September, and it is now the 15th of October. So it's been a long time coming, but I finally finished this book, and I really do feel like I am over the reading slump, which is excellent news because this week really has been like a classic week, if that makes any sense. I have gone to loads of yoga classes, I've managed to fit in all of the gym sessions I had planned so far, I have been working full time, and I've made time for reading, so I feel like I've finally had a proper week that is reflective of how my time will now be spent, and I managed to fit in everything, which just makes me so happy because I feel like I'm finally sort of like getting back into the rhythm of things and finding a routine, and it is just such a wonderful feeling. And it is all the more wonderful because of how much I enjoyed this book. It was so, so good. I loved it. It really did combine that kind of elevated and literary style of writers like Sally Rooney with then things like The Secret History and other dark academias that obviously play into the murder mystery element, and I think it just combined all of those things so incredibly well. My favourite thing about this book was the fact that the narrator was a very, very conscious narrator. She was telling the story in retrospect and reflecting on the relationships that she had in her first year of university, both platonic, student-teacher, and also romantic, and sort of reflecting on how all of these relationships interconnected and impacted on each other. And the book, I guess at its core, really does look at how those interconnected relationships can very quickly spiral out of control when certain members of those relationships have ulterior motives motives, and it was just such an interesting read. And I think because it was such a conscious narrative, although it definitely played into the theme of murder mysteries, and in fact very consciously talked about Agatha Christie, and that was a key focus of the book, it also kind of explored mysteries in a more realistic sense than perhaps you would get in a Christie, where you're definitely going to get a conclusion to the mystery that you're trying to solve, whereas in this one you do get a slightly more open-ended conclusion, which I think really nods to exploring the fact that I guess mysteries don't always get solved in reality. And I think that, paired with this conscious retrospective narrator, really just made this book feel a lot more real, which was just incredible. And I would highly recommend it to anyone who likes dark books, books set in academic settings, or has liked any of those other authors that I mentioned, because it's just so good. So now that I've finished The Truants, I'm going to be continuing on with the other book that I picked up during this reading vlog, which was Rebecca by spilling my tea, Daphne du Maurier. I'm only still however far I got through it on Saturday. How far did I make it? I think to 106 pages. That is mostly because I didn't want to get too far into this book and leave The Truants, so I wanted to finish The Truants and then delve completely into Rebecca. But I'm really excited because this is just such a wonderful book that I'm so glad to be rereading. And I think this book combines the cozy with the dark so well. One thing I wasn't expecting or didn't remember from my first read of it was how descriptive Daphne du Maurier is with food. There are so many descriptions in this book of the incredible foods that are prepared for them at Manderley, and they just sound so amazing. I don't know if I've tabbed any of them, but there are just these incredible descriptions of things like crumpets and toast and all kinds of other wonderful things, pastries and cakes, and they made me so hungry that I had to buy a pack of crumpets because honestly they just sounded so delicious, and I am loving the food descriptions, because food is one thing that I am never going to say no to being described well in a book, because I just love it so much. So I'm going to be continuing on with Rebecca going forward and finishing this before the new movie adaptation comes out next Wednesday. So I've got just under a week to finish about 300 pages of this book. But as I said, it is now Thursday, so I'm going to finish this vlog here and continue on with Rebecca in next week's reading vlog, which is going to be a really exciting one. Firstly, because on the day that this vlog goes live, which is Friday the 16th of October, I'm actually taking part in a readathon that I'm hosting alongside two of my friends, Em and Meg. I will link both of their channels down below, but together we are hosting a weekend-long readathon called the Fall into Autumn Readathon. It's essentially a readathon which is all about just getting cozy, reading good books, and enjoying autumn, which is all of our favourite seasons, and it's just incredible. So I'll be definitely reading Rebecca during that, but there are also some other prompts which are to do with lots of other cozy autumnal activities. So like I said, I'll link Em and Meg down below, as well as my announcement video for the readathon, so that you can find out more, because like I said, this vlog is going up on the day that that readathon starts, but you still have time to join in if you want to fancy joining us throughout the weekend and getting cozy and enjoying autumn. And then on the subject of readathons, I'm also hosting another readathon the following weekend, which will be Friday the 23rd of October and Saturday the 24th of October, and I'm going to be hosting a Stephen King 24-hour readathon. Basically exactly what it says on the tin. The theme is just to read Stephen King books and see how many you can get through in 24 hours. I'll personally be starting at 8 PM on Friday the 23rd and going through until 8 PM on Saturday the 24th, and it's going to be really fun. I did the same style of readathon last year on my own, but people enjoyed that video so much and I thought that other people might want to join in. So here we are, that's when the readathon is going to be taking place, and if you want to join me in reading Stephen King for a day, that would be wonderful. But I feel like I've probably rambled enough about books and everything else. I'm so glad that I feel like I'm finally back to my old self and reading and enjoying books again, because that is just what makes me so happy. So I'd love to know what you've been reading lately, what you've been enjoying, and what else you've been getting up to. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.